Betchakucha 153, put the book back on the shelf. So this is an art anthology that is based on the music of Belle and Sebastian. That's all I know about Belle and Sebastian. I have not heard any of their music in preparation to reading the graphic novel. This is exactly the kind of book I go to the library for. I would call this a hipster anthology. This is a comic book for graphic designers who don't want to actually own Batman books in their own home. I can only, without having heard the music, appreciate the different art styles, and I think this is an excellent portfolio piece to introduce different artists to people. This is some kind of story about some girl who meets some guy and it doesn't work out, and she's called Lazy Line Painter Jane, apparently. There's going to be a lot of this kind of ambivalent narrative thing going on here, because they're 2 or 3 page long stories based with a certain degree of accuracy to the lyrics, or they're just inspired by them. This is an angry teenage girl who grows up to be an angry girl who almost gets a book published, or does, stops being angry but is still kind of angry. I like the art styles of pretty much all of these. This is some kind of spy thriller thing going on. I have no idea what the story's about. What the lyrics of the story are. Really what it is I just read what's there and I just take it for what it is. I really like this one. This is about a kid who has a pet ninja who lives in his bag, who causes all kinds of mischief. This is just like a great children's story. And I feel like I've seen the art before. Definitely one of my favourite styles in the book. I'd like to emulate it, but then it just feels like stealing, you know what I mean? This is about some old guy who does old guy stuff, who doesn't like young guys doing young guy stuff. One of those timeless punk songs, although I don't know what genre of music Belle and Sebastian are. The art style looks like it could be from like Andy Capp or something. All the art styles are so different, and that's why I called it a portfolio piece. But I think like every single style in this book, however much time it looks like it takes to create and how much I subjectively like them, I think they're all very interesting and unique, even though they are styles, and you'll see a fair amount of similar things in the world. As far as I can tell, the song is literally called Dog on Wheels. And so the guy drew a drag racer in a race, and the guy's a dog, and the other car explodes, and it's really cool, and I like it. It's great. I wonder how the guy created his art. I feel like he was using composite images. This is another one I really like. The stuff I like is the stuff I'd see in Batman and the stuff I'd see in children's books. This is like a literal translation of the lyrics. Kid wants to build a rocket, space goes to space, blah blah blah, something about a boy and a girl. And this one is about I don't know, a girl, the doctors told her she was sick, blah blah blah, and she ends up mash up. Any art style that is this bold with colour, I just have to respect, because I wouldn't compose something like that. And this one as well, that's like almost the antithesis. It's just black and white and one flat. It reminds me of something like Hellboy. You don't have to do a lot to have a successful illustrative style. It just has to work for you, and that's the hardest part. This is another style I really like, because it's the use of strong line work, and it's the very limited color palette. This I know that hipsters would love, because I think it's like a hipster's color palette as well. To this day, I use that word and don't really have a definition, but I think we all know what a hipster when we see one. So this is about a Fox and his co-worker Fox, who keeps getting asked out on a date, but gets so flustered they have to respond in any way except when the other person is next to them. It's a cute little story. I like the art. It's great. There's a lot of creativity and imagination in the way that some of these artists have used these stories to kind of tell a story, or use the songs to tell a story, I should say. This is about, I think, a waitress who gets maltreated at work, and in the end she just gets on with her life and leaves. Not all of these things have to be deep. They're deep enough. This is about, I don't know, a guy who loves a girl but lets someone else marry her so she'll be in a better life situation or something. There's a lot of or somethings because I was reading them. They don't necessarily make sense, and I wasn't necessarily paying attention. This one is about a guy who went to the war who never met his son, and it's the letter he wrote to him about, I went to war, but I wish I could have got to know you instead of this, just sending you this letter from a stranger. And then this is about some kids who have kids, and you see the young couple grow into an old couple. And again, it's just, I really like the art style. Just going through all these pages and looking at all the different art styles, it would make you want to hire some of these artists, I think, and see what else they could do. This is about a guy who's in a relationship. He wants to talk to them. They don't want to talk to him, and it's represented as him basically dying. And by the end of it, he's in another relationship, and he kind of goes through the cycle of it not working out all over again. And of course, Clown of the Week is Parliament, because their ass got shut down. It's not... I mean, is it an exaggeration to call it the death of democracy? Politicians aren't really for the people. Boris Johnson is going to force, it looks like, the hardest of Brexits. But the irony is we have a politician doing what he said he would. And that's the biggest problem of all. Yeah, I was too busy reading my art anthology to actually know the ins and outs of this. I think most people aren't paying too much attention to this, and I think that's the only way to stay sane. So that brings us to the end of Pecha Kucha 153, and I will see you next time.